everybody, and welcome to the Fandom Flux podcast, episode fucking 68, I think. Yeah?
It's one more than 67.
Sure, yeah. I'm your host, KCW. I'm so fucking tired and out of it right now. And with me, we have Slicer.
Hello.
Zero.
Hey guys, how you doing? And Resden, you haven't been replying to me, as Kenshi pointed out. You are a liar! A liar!
Way to guilt the audience.
And Kenji.
Alright, that works.
I'll be honest, that might have been his funniest intro yet. Which is kind of sad, because all the time he spends working and crafting those things and fucking opening what I assume is a soda can and not actually beer.
No, it's too early for that.
Yeah, so, what are we doing? Start with Slicer.
Alright, let me get my notes.
You are so unprepared.
I do, I have
Wildly
notes. I have them written down. Anyway, this War of Mine, I played more of that. I beat it a few times. I was gonna say it's not very good, but it's strangely addicting. It's really fun, actually. Well, after a while. It takes a while to get into it, I suppose. But, it can be brutal if you start in winter first. It's like you freeze to death 3 days in. It sucks. And, it's the weirdest game because your setup is always so fragile. Like, I had one guy that would clear an area, I had another guy who would scavenge the area, I had one guy at the next morning would make things because he was a handyman, and then another guy that could cook. And when I was clearing an area, I almost lost my soldier character, and if I would have lost him, my entire setup would fall apart. It seems like you're comfortable, but then you're actually not. So yeah, that gets a recommendation for me. I like it. Also, Resident Evil 4, I beat that in like 2 days, and platinumed it. I got everything, which made it worth purchasing, honestly, because I had never beaten professional mode before. Did you know there was a laser gun in Resident Evil 4?
I did not.
I didn't know that either, but there is, and you get it for beating professional.
Is it cool?
I haven't actually used it yet. By the time I finish that game, I'm like, I need a break from this. I love this game, but fuck it.
You could always just start over just to get the laser gun, and then you could do the first area.
Oh yeah, it's free.
Which I'm sure by then the novelty will have worn off, so, you know.
Yeah. It would take like 10 minutes, so... But I just didn't want to touch it yet, because I had other things. Anyone seen Into the Woods?
No.
Well, we saw that in the theater, and for one, it's a musical, so there was a lot of singing, and normally that would be a bad thing for me, because most of the time people can't really sing and stuff like that. But this one was the exact opposite. Everyone was a really good singer, and the acting was good as well, which was always nice. It is entirely tongue-in-cheek, though. It's not a movie to be taken seriously. It's definitely a fun movie, but it's not to be taken seriously. There's no fourth wall humor, but there's definitely a lot of meta stuff, like witches cannot be good, which was a theme. What was that, Ken?
Yeah, you're kind of quiet, Ken.
There's no Tenacious D in the Pick of Destiny.
Oh, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's not wrong.
Okay.
Fuck was that?
I don't know. I think that was on your end. Well, anyway. We've hyped it up so much, I decided to finally actually read One Punch Man, and it's really good. It's really good. My only complaint is some of the chapters are like 10 pages long. It's a little ridiculous.
Well, I mean, what else does there need to be said? He punches things and they die. I mean, some of that in like 2 or 3.
It's the opposite, though. The fighting chapters are the longer ones. They're like 30 or 40, but the story chapters are only 10 pages long. It's a little ridiculous. So, yeah, that gets an actual recommendation as well, instead of just read it because it's a cool concept. Read it because it's good and it's a cool concept now. And lastly, I got Binding of Isaac Rebirth for like $15, I think. And
that's the one where you're a baby, right?
Pretty much, yeah. And there is a shit ton of content in this game. Like, I've played it for, 14 hours now, and I've got 15% of all the items and stuff in here. It's ridiculous. Also, it's really hard. But yeah, that's my week.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I haven't played Binding of Isaac. So, in the Super Meat Boy category of games that will fuck you over, but really are kind of fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Kenshi.
Alright. So, watch UFC 182 came on last Saturday. It'll probably be Saturday before last, by the time you guys hear this, or whatever. No, it's still technically last Saturday. Never mind.
Yep.
First UFC event in the new year. Watched it at work because I'm an American hero. And in the main event, John Jones basically ate his challenger Daniel Cormier's soul by beating him in the kind of fighting he was supposed to be better at. Like, basically just grappling him and grinding him out against the cage itself for, like, most of the 5 rounds. Ugh. And I'm still waiting for Jones to rematch Alexander Gustafsson, the only person who ever really almost beat him, but Gustafsson has to win a pretty rough fight later this month for that to even happen. And you guys have no idea who these people I'm talking about are, do you?
Nope.
I'm still stuck on grappling and grinding against a cage.
Yeah, that was something.
That was a phrasing that...
Oh, whatever. Take it however you want. I don't care. And let's see. In addition to that, I finally know when I'm supposed to work this week because the schedule came out yesterday. They did not put a schedule out for the new year until after the new year had already started.
That sucks.
Yeah, that's future employers' problem.
Not really a big deal for the full-time people that have their schedules already, but I'm part-time. So you kind of have to establish my schedule for me. Kind of. So, yeah. So at least now I know when I get paid. And let's see, one more thing. I still love Grand Theft Auto 5.
Coming out this week. This month, rather, not this week.
Yeah.
It's 27th.
Yay!
Yay!
So there's a situation. There was like a supply drop, like in the free roam or free play room online. There was a supply drop, and when it came, I pretty much swooped in and brutally murdered the 2 guys who'd been fighting the NPCs guarding it. After the battle was over, like the monumental dick that I am, and I took it.
That's the only way to do it. I mean,
yeah, pretty much. It was a minigun too, so I'm fine with it. And the other 2 guys who wanted it kind of had a problem with me killing them and getting away with the care package flawlessly. So, yeah. But tough shit, because I'm pretty sure another one dropped 30 minutes later, but I don't remember if it did or not because I was busy with them. Because they hounded me afterwards.
And playing with your minigun, yeah.
They hounded me and killed me like 3 straight times. They were like trying to make me leave or something, which pissed me off. So I made it a point to take offense to this and wasted at least an hour like running around the whole map from them and killing them repeatedly whenever they got close to me.
Well, yeah.
Alrighty.
And
I'll take that shit.
That little game ended when I got bored, so I jumped a car over the fence into the military base and stole a tank. And they didn't want to play that game after that.
Yeah, this plan to screw this guy over has kind of backfired spectacularly on us. You want to bail? Yeah, let's bail.
They left the room after they realized I had a tank.
Tank beats everything.
Kind of does.
Tank does beat everything.
It actually, in fact, does, because you can't really destroy it.
You can't? I thought it was the weakest one in the series in GTA.
Well, you can, but weakest tank in the series is not exactly saying much.
It's still a tank.
That's like saying it's the lamest fucking T-Rex. It's what,
Fair enough.
or dragon. Dragon's
The
better.
lamest T-Rex.
I mean, it wasn't like fucking fighter jets were dropping bombs on me, so there was nothing that was going to kill me. No one had RPGs or anything, so they couldn't kill me. What are they going to do? It's a tank. Game over, son.
You do recall the achievement hunters using the tank as a wrecking ball and technically a gun mount on a helicopter.
That was awesome.
And having two of them driving down the street at 5-star wanted level and still just shrugging off explosions left and right. Yeah, that tank's not weak. Sorry. Not a word to describe it.
Yeah, it was a great time. I feel like it was a good use of an hour plus.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you there. It's good fun. Well, if you're having fun, what's the point otherwise?
Yeah. I've also been playing a lot of The Last of Us online. That's a fucking tough game with a tough learning curve. As far as how to actually get around playing it against people.
Well, yeah, you're jumping into an
Apparently you
audience
should
that's already had the game for, like 4 years?
Yeah.
Apparently you should actually integrate that with Facebook. Like, it's one of the good ones.
I'll think about
From
it.
what I've seen, yeah.
Because the way... It doesn't actually just start spamming your Facebook wall with, hey, I'm playing Last of Us and all that shit. It just imports all of your friends' names and puts them on the... What is it? The camp members or something?
Your
The NPCs
village, basically, yeah.
Will get
Your
sick
clan.
and whatever. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it puts your friends' names on them.
That's awesome. I might do that. But yeah, that's pretty much my week.
Okay. I'll go next. Okay. First things first. I need to get... I have a prop. I have a thing. Where's my thing? There it is. So, guess what came today? Not today, yesterday.
Nuh-uh.
No, it came.
The pizza
It
cutter.
came.
Yes.
Why are we hyped about a pizza cutter?
It's
Why are we
the
not?
tactical
It is the super
laser.
slice saber is why.
Yes.
Okay, so... It's actually a little bit cooler than I thought it would be. I thought it would be like a laser pointer for the laser. It is not. It is like a straight line beam laser. So it puts like a line on the surface, so you can just cut. It's actually pretty cool. Also, the sound effect leaves a little something to be desired. I don't know whether you're going to be able to hear this over the mic, but whatever.
We can hear it, alright.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure why they went with... I assume that's supposed to be a Starship engine or something?
Something like that. It seems like.
The lightsaber sound might be copyrighted.
Yeah, but they could have gone with like a buzzsaw or something. I really wish they'd actually gone with a buzzsaw. That would have been perfect. Because then, well, you'd be pressing the button when you're about to cut the pizza because it also turns on the laser. So it'd just be like bzzz and stuff. It's good.
Maybe just wants to go like in one solid, like one cut straight across the pizza, and the instant that sound plays.
Yeah.
I need video of you using this.
Yeah, I'm probably going to do an accompanying video that's going to go on the link dump, I'll be honest. So, and I actually do have a pack of the pizzas that you get the codes with, so I could totally do that at some point. It'd be fun.
It's great.
So yeah, that was interesting. It was actually around about exactly the 60 days that they said it was going to take when I pestered them about it. Yeah, so, remember everything I said about Skype last week?
Yes.
How it's not as terrible as people are making out, it just looks ugly?
Yeah?
Yeah, I really hate it now.
Alright.
Does anyone, when you're using like Word or something, and you put things in asterisks to make it like an effect or something like that.
Yeah, and it bolds it in this.
Yeah.
Little squiggly marks makes it cross through.
Oh, really? Awesome.
Yeah, I know, right?
Squiggly marks? Which ones are those?
The tilde key, the one by the 1.
I'm not sure I have that.
You don't have that?
Nope. Oh.
Yeah.
It's that.
I don't know where it is on my keyboard.
It's a squiggly line.
It's like under my escape key.
Like,
It's not on mine, I don't think.
Oh.
Your weird British keyboard.
You're
Oh, I found it. It's on the
Your attempts are hilarious to find it.
the hashtag key. It's like there's a gap next to my shift as the. God, that's awkward to get to when you touch typing. Yay! That's a thing I'm never actually going to use. What the fuck is the point of this? And that's also basically my opinion on the asterisk thing. Yeah. Why not just add, like, an editor feature instead of having all these weird shortcuts so you could actually use the...
Because that takes work. And it would not frustrate people.
Mm. Alright, so yeah, that pissed me off.
That might be.
You were right to cross that out because that is entirely not accurate.
Is that accurate?
So I crossed it out. Alright. I'm sorry, I'm having way too much fun with this feature. Okay.
Zero type Casey loves butts. Yeah. I'm not over enthused about them, to be honest. So. Yeah, so that Skype feature pissed me off, especially when I was trying to sigh exasperatedly at my let's call it a flawed plan in the Old Republic.
It didn't work out well.
Yeah, so I have gone on record a few times saying how I really, really wanted purple lightsabers. Because, let's be honest, purple is the best color out of, all of them.
Honestly,
Sure
purple lightsabers are really cool.
Yes, they are. Which is probably why they restricted them to, like, fucking super rare level 50 gear or something, which was the level cap at launch. Until recently, when they did the cartel stuff. So, basically, people can buy packs. They get super rare gear. And in those packs, you can get rare color crystals for your lightsabers or blasters or whatever. And now there's a bunch of colors you can get. You can get orange and sort of a gold color, and there's a blue and gold one, which is really awesome looking. But, that's a
kind of like
level
Force
cap.
Unleashed. Where they have all
Yeah.
the colors for lightsabers.
Yeah, some really awesome ones in there. And I found these pink and purple ones, which look a lot better than the actual purple lightsabers do in the game. Because I don't know why, they just made them look really ugly. So, here was my position at that point. I was basically like, okay, I'm going to sit on the Imperial fleet and just work on upgrading my lightsabers because they really fucking need it at this point. Well, since I'm going to upgrade them, and it costs money to, take the mods off my current custom lightsabers, I'm just gonna sell the old ones and get brand new ones. They come blank, but I can get mods for them. It's gonna be fine. And then
There's
I
a
find
flaw
these.
in this plan already visible. He has no weapon while he's making these.
Yeah. So I see these pink and purple lightsaber crystals on the trade market. I think 80,000 credits. That's over half of my money. But purple lightsabers. So, yeah, I buy the one that I can afford, and then just start working on building the other mods that I need to make my lightsabers actual lightsabers rather than just
Glow
sticks. Yeah. So, it's in the course of this pursuit that I run out of money. Because actually doing that costs money. You need money to fetch components so that you can build mods. And, yeah, so I was sitting there on the Imperial fleet entirely out of money and with no weapons and thus no means to get more. A little bit stuck. So I sell some of my old gear and stuff on the trade market and say, hey, I've got like 100,000. I could buy that other lightsaber crystal now. So naturally I immediately did that. And naturally soon after that I ran out of money again.
Still with no weapon.
Still with no weapons. So I ended up sitting there on the Imperial fleet for like 3 days, playing any starfighter battle I could to earn enough money to start building my weapons. Eventually, I got there, and I had everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I had this amazing idea.
Oh, God.
I was like, okay, I have these super awesome lightsabers, that's great. But, you know, my armor, it's kind of out of date as well. I mean, it's like 5 levels below me, all the stuff is. I really should upgrade that as well. So, I start getting on doing that. Guess what happens?
What?
I ran out of money again.
No way.
With no armor.
So, yeah. It's at this point I realize I can't actually do the Starfighter thing anymore because my schedule is so that I'm awake at like 3 a.m. Thus no one's online because it's the European servers. So, okay. I have some armor. I have these super awesome lightsabers that are like way above spec for anyone of my level, and the next mission is like 4 levels behind me in terms of scaling. I could probably do this, right?
Totally.
Yeah, the first group of enemies killed me. the very first one. It went poorly.
It went very poorly. As poor as it could go, really.
Yeah, so that was a bad time. I had to sell more stuff, basically, to get the rest of the armor that I needed, and then ended up dying on the first enemy again as soon as I had decent armor, so, you know, that's great. Still a fun game, though.
Sure, sounds like it.
All of this was entirely worthwhile, because now I have purple lightsabers, and everything else is just unimportant.
Did you ever get better armor, or do you just have decent stuff?
I have... Well, I can't make armor mods, because that's a different crafting skill. So I just buy the ones that are on the fleet, and, you know, they're good quality. Not the great quality if I'd made them myself, but they're good. And, yeah. In the process of all this stuff, I actually started a new character. An Imperial Agent, which is basically like blaster rifle and a knife for when someone gets in close. I have redubbed this class the Shiving Jedi in the Bollocks class.
Yeah.
That is literally their response move to anyone coming in close. You just basically sit there and knife them in the balls, or lady parts, whichever they happen to have. It's immensely satisfying. I don't know why, but something about shiving all these all-powerful super soldier people with mystic powers just knife to the balls and they're sort of done. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I don't know how realistic that would be, but it's great. So yeah, that was my week. God, that was an annoying week.
Sounds adventurous. Totally really selling that game for me.
Hey, that's just me being completely fucking anal retentive about my equipment and making sure I have the best stuff. If I'd actually spent all this time making myself good at playing the game, I'd have probably been okay.
Alright, so...
Yeah, Zero's week.
Yeah, I haven't been on in like 2 weeks, so I got a little bit more to cover. So, yeah, my Christmas, a while ago now, yeah. Never had to talk about it, but I got Bayonetta 2 and Bayonetta 1, which is good because I never played Bayonetta 1. So, I've been playing that, and that's a lot of fun. Like, a lot of fun. I can't believe I didn't play it before now. I also got a new chair, so now I'm actually comfortable while doing this podcast. Because it was horrible before. A little plastic chair. Kind of made me feel sad and insignificant.
I mean, mine's like wood and cloth at this point. There's no padding left, but you didn't even have any kind of computer chair?
No, I didn't.
Huh.
Yeah. So I got that. Yeah, I got Pokemon Omega Ruby. I named my Mega Rayquaza Blade Star. That's a form of apology. I already told Casey that, but and I even commented it in the comments telling Blade Star, yeah, you're a Mega Rayquaza now. Don't worry, it's all fine. Yeah. So, other than that, you know, Christmas was fine. Had a lot of fun with presents, and you know, my sister came by and she got a lot of presents, and overall it was a good time. The very next weekend, though, I went down to Southern California. I went and I visited my uncle's house. They recently moved from like a 7,500 square foot house to 5,000 feet, so their house is still twice as big as mine. Anyways, so I go down there. I played Smash Brothers with my cousins. My grandma came over. My grandma, she has dementia, so my grandpa-in-law has taken it upon himself to, or rather, he's been given the duty to give out Christmas presents. So he gave my brother a DVD. He gave me and my brothers both DVDs. He gave my brother 48 Hours, which is an R-rated movie. My brother's like 15. And he gave me, and I'm pretty sure this came from like the $5 bin at like Walmart or something. American Pie, Bandcamp, unrated widescreen.
Okay.
Now, to fully understand what this is, I'm going to read the back of it for you.
That's Zero's movie right there.
Get ready for the wildest, most hilarious slice of American Pie ever. This time around, the bad boy antics of Stifler's younger brother Matt get him sent to a summer at band camp. Join the fun as the Stiffmeister legend reaches outrageous new heights with hot camp counselors, ultra steamy hidden cameras, and a stimulating encounter with a certain musical instrument. Co-starring Jim's dad, Eugene Levy, and an irresistible cast including a pair of playmates, it's a pie-style party you'll never forget.
Okay.
It's a present from Grandma.
That movie actually wasn't that bad.
Right in front of all the family, I've given this borderline porn movie, and we just laughed.
You're overstating it a little bit. Yeah, okay.
The back is the censored bars, so yeah, just so it can be. Well, unrated edition American Pie Bandcamp. I'm thinking the musical instrument it mentions on the back is a tuba, but I'm not 100% certain. I hope it's a tuba. I have not
looked
opened
the
this.
version of a flute is, I think.
I'm going to regift this. I'm going to regift that.
To him next year?
You
to somebody.
Watch it. Watch it. And
Sarah's going to be fapping later.
Watch it and film yourself watching it so I can see your reactions.
It's still in the wrapping. I have not I have not removed it. I'm going to regift. I'm not going to watch that.
All that video would be Zero gradually curling himself into a ball and rocking back and forth. The film goes on.
Yeah. So, thanks, Grandma. No, you're always looking out for me.
Thanks, Grandma. I enjoyed that story. Thanks, Zero's grandma.
Don't worry. She thinks you're not getting enough, so you need more masturbatory material. It's an understandable reaction.
Anyways, moving on. I went down to we have to our friend's house. They have to their place down by the beach. Hung out there. I played Smash Brothers again. I played a lot of Smash during this because everybody has Smash nowadays. Yes, basically just hung out there, ate some tacos, went down to the beach a little bit. After that, I went to Six Flags, Magic Mountain. That was fun. We went on the X2, really big ride. It's just one of the most fun rides I've ever been on. And, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I got back later, so I wasn't able to make the whole podcast last week because we were just getting back. But after that, for Christmas I did participate in the Steam sale. I bought like $50 worth of games, and so I got Strider, the remake.
Strider.
I got the Telltale Game of Thrones thing they did. That's interesting. Because in that game, you basically take the perspectives of multiple characters, kind of like in the show.
Mm-hmm.
You switch from character to character. And I don't like Cersei. I don't like her even more than I didn't like her when I watched the show. Because I have to basically, there's one point where you basically are told, okay, just say whatever makes her happy. And I'm like, and I'm trying that, and she's like, oh, this person would say whatever they would to make me happy. And I'm just like, what am I supposed to do then? And afterwards, it's like, oh, she was pleased with you. And I'm like, okay. Not really clear on that. So there's that.
It's a dominance play.
Yeah.
She's like, I know you're fawning over me, don't worry about it.
Tyrion was, as always, cool guy. Trying to help the family out. The whole premise of it is that you're taking the place of the Forrester family, and it starts during the, like season 3 with the wedding execution. When the phrase,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you're part of you're a squire to the Forrester family, which is loyal to House Stark. Things don't go so well. But,
Shocker.
yeah.
Well, they can't have you left around anymore after the game, because then you're in the way.
Yeah, you get sent to the wall. Gary gets sent to the wall. The squire guy.
How long's this been out?
It's been out for like a month, I think. I don't know. Maybe less. I can't remember the exact date.
You're fine.
It hasn't been. It's been out for a while. It's just been very low priority on everybody's radar. But,
skip ahead 5 minutes if you don't want to hear spoilers. I don't really care.
I don't. You don't have to. I'm not going to talk too much on that. And then I bought, aside from Strider and Game of Thrones, I bought 2 light novels and then or visual novels, and then I realized why I don't read visual novels anymore, and it was super boring. It was probably just this one, and I was just like, can I just skip all this? I don't like this character. So, yeah. Afterwards, last weekend I went to Sac Anime with my brother, and we got to see a few people. He saw more people on Saturday. I couldn't go on Saturday, but I got to see Damian Clark, who does the voice of Cell, and Handsome Jack.
Nice.
So that was really cool. And then I got to see Charles Martinet on Sunday, who does the voice of Mario, Luigi, Wario, basically the Nintendo guy. And he was selling his stuff he was selling like some of his former Nintendo stuff for like charity, and it was really cool. He signed our Super Smash Brothers box, and he put like Super in front of our names, and he just graffitied all over it. It was great.
super.
And aside
It wouldn't be Super Zero.
It would be
aside from
Super
that, we also got to see Rich Alvarez from the Rich Alvarez channel. We got to see they have a booth there over at Sec Anime. So we got to.
I don't know who that is.
Well, their YouTube channel did the whole stupid Mario Brothers show. They have like 100,000 subscribers or something. I don't know, but they were there. We got to meet the cast of that. We got to meet Chris and Richie, who do Mario and Luigi. You know, Rich does Mario. Well, anyways, we got to meet them. We got them to sign a poster. We took pictures with them. It was great, and then we got to get featured on their Sec Anime YouTube video. They like interviewed us and stuff. Me, my brother, and his friend. So whenever they upload that, you might be able to find me on it. But that was really cool.
You did shill, right?
What?
You did shill the podcast, right?
I'm sorry. I was overcome by starstruckness or whatever.
You had one job, Zero.
I'm sorry. It was in the moment. Gosh darn it, you can't expect things of me.
Zero, you got to believe you're a bigger star than everyone else around you. I do.
About Zero? Or
I mean, about myself.
About himself.
okay. I thought it was a little weird.
Anyway, when I bought a bunch of stuff there, I bought like a black Master Sword. So like the hilt was black and it's got like a silver, the gem part, which is just painted silver. So it's like got like a black and silver design, and it's like a broadsword. So it's nice. It's hanging on my wall right there.
You got a Master Sword and an evil Master Sword.
Yeah, but my evil Master Sword is actually way better than my regular Master Sword in every way, shape, and possible.
Because evil is more powerful.
Because it actually looks like the Master Sword. But my other one kind of looks like really thin and puny in comparison. Like this one has like the Triforce etched on it. It's really nice. I bought myself a Proto Man doll too because it was really cute and I like Proto Man. And yeah, I bought some Christmas presents for some friends and I had to drive there in my brother's training car, which is a 2001 Buick LeSabre. And the felt on the roof of the car is hanging loose, so it touches your head and messes up your hair while you're sitting there driving. So my hair was just standing up straight for the entire day.
I've driven a car like that. It's not pleasant.
Yeah, my current car had unexplained issues. Like it's just one day I tried to start it up and it wouldn't start. So we brought it into the dealership and they're going to be doing something about that because they have repair services and whatnot. Other than that, it's about my week and a half, 2 weeks. Yeah.
Sorry, not yawning about your week, Zero, just yawning because
You're freaking
just woke up.
tired. Yeah.
So, alright, first topic is reveals. I should have done like a drum roll or a fucking
A reveal?
sound effect or something because it's reveal, but yeah, I don't care. And that is how you do a lackluster reveal. So how do you do a good one? Someone else talk.
Don't be afraid of foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid
That's a
to
good
like
point,
give little hints along the way. It's not like even if it gives away part of it, even if your foreshadowing gives away pretty much lets people take good, decent guesses at what you're going to do, that's not really a bad thing.
If they
Just
can guess,
deal.
if they can guess and they don't get it right the first time, you're doing good. That's my opinion of it. You want to keep them guessing, but at the same time, you want to make sure it's not easy to find out, and you want to make sure they're able to actually guess too.
Yeah, they need to be able to look back and be able to put together the pieces.
Yeah, breadcrumbs. Like think of BioShock Infinite. There's a whole bunch of reveals and stuff in that game, and when you play through the game, you can find the little breadcrumbs sprinkled throughout the story. You're like, oh, I get what that means. Oh, I get what that means. Oh, I get what that means. You want to be able to leave a trail.
I would not use BioShock Infinite as a good example.
I wish I had a better example than that.
Yeah, I just said the first thing that came to mind, which was incidentally BioShock Infinite, because I don't know.
The original BioShock is probably a better example.
Yeah, it probably is. But you want to leave it so that people can read your story over again and understand a lot more of it. I guess give your story layers.
Yeah. I mean, if you play BioShock again, I guarantee you'll pay close attention to every time Atlas says, "Would you kindly?" Or you won't, which will really reinforce how innocuous that phrase is. And just how you would not notice it.
I always do. It really stands out. Well, once you know about it, anyway.
I didn't notice, to be honest. I was just listening to a guy talking at me in an Irish accent.
Right.
I need to save my family. All that shit. Yeah. That was my Irish accent. You like it? It's not good. It's bad.
It wasn't bad, I guess, but...
A bit more West Country than Irish, I think, so never mind. But yeah.
If you're going to reveal something, part of leaving little hints along the way is not just so that you can justify what your reveal winds up being, but it also helps build to the actual reveal itself. If you're going to reveal something, it should be a big deal. If it's something that was a mystery or something that was shrouded in hearsay and whatnot until the point where it actually came out.
Ideal scenario is when someone is reading your fic and they get to the big reveal and they say, "I fucking called it." Because that means they're excited because it wasn't obvious. If you get to the reveal and someone says, "Oh yeah, that's absolutely what was happening, yeah. That's duh." That's really bad.
It's not great, that's for sure.
It's a good way to gauge success. Is if, I totally knew all along, or, wow, I was absolutely right about that. God damn, I didn't expect to be right about that. There's your meter for success. Or, I suppose there is an absolute fail in which it would be, what? Where the hell did this come from? That's bad. That is very, very bad. Unless you're intentionally going for that. There are scenarios where intentionally throwing everyone a curveball can be good.
Yeah.
You don't always need to foreshadow, but...
it helps.
Yeah.
In my opinion, at least. I really hate those reveals where it's just that somebody new shows up and you're expected to think they're a threat for whatever reason.
Yeah. So if it's just going to be a curveball, then you don't need to overly foreshadow it, but just little tiny things every now and again that seem absolutely, completely innocuous, and then you can go back and see how it all makes sense once you get the reveal. There's different levels of that kind of thing you can do, I think.
I don't like fitting too many reveals into anything in particular, though.
Yeah, there's only so many you can actually do.
Yeah, at some point it gets into soap opera territory.
Yeah. And that's really not a good place to be.
Like the end of No More Heroes 1 parody. It's so great. I am your father, and and she is your sister, and we're all siblings, and this is all a thing, and it was all connected all along. Pretty good.
I should really play that series.
Fucking Henry stole my fight with the big ass robot thing.
Henry, I am your twin brother. Everybody's connected.
Yeah. Reveals are tricky.
If you do a bunch of reveals in a short amount of time, that's parody territory. That's parody territory. You don't want to do that. Spread them out at the very least, and it depends on how long your story is. Like, you don't want to have a reveal every other chapter.
Mm.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be a reveal just to the audience. I mean, you could have the audience know all about the villain or whatever you're going to be revealing the whole time, and it's just the characters that are getting the reveal.
Mm.
And finally understanding what's really going on. That's absolutely a valid approach. I mean, Death Note does this, obviously, where you see both sides all the way through and understand the processes of everything that everyone's doing.
I feel that looks a lot better in a visual medium than fan
it's
fiction.
still massive catharsis when you have one side find out everything else the other has done and all this stuff. It's good, but it's a very different kind of story that way.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So, reveals.
Yay.
Yay.
I'm trying to think of good
I'm trying
ones.
to think, and I just really haven't done any reveals in anything I've done, so I have no experience with that. Aside from the smaller stuff, like a monster being revealed or something.
Yeah, I've got some big ones planned in one of my stories, but other than that,
Okay. Next topic?
Sure.
I'll be honest, I'm not feeling amazing, so I might just run out in a few minutes. I don't know. We'll see. Protagonists, voiced versus unvoiced. Now, to clarify, we are not talking about silent protagonists. We don't care about Gordon Freeman or whoever else. I don't really give a shit.
Jell
Those are,
from Portal?
Sure. Those are characters that don't have characters. What I'm talking about is specifically the recent trend towards having RPGs that have voiced protagonists. So it gives you dialogue options, but all of them are voiced. So
think Dragon Age Inquisition versus Fallout 3.
Or Dragon Age Inquisition versus Dragon Age Origins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it gives you dialogue options, but all of those dialogue options are interpreted by a voice actor.
Yeah.
So what that ends up doing is giving the voice actor more control over the character than you have, in my opinion.
I personally I like voices because you get to hear a voice for your character, and it kind of helps with immersion, but I don't like voices because sometimes your character will say something different than what you meant. When you're just picking dialogue options, you assume that's exactly what you say.
Yeah, in dialogue options it is exactly what you say, because they don't need to have you rush so it can feel like a normal flowing conversation. That's the entire point of the whole paraphrased dialogue wheel thing that a lot of games are doing. It's so that you can take just the couple of seconds it gives you with the dialogue options on screen to read them all, think, okay, I want to pick this one, and then it'll just flow into the next scene. That's what it's designed to do. I don't like it, I'll be honest.
I didn't know that, actually. I didn't realize that was the intent of it.
Yeah. they talked a lot about it when they were releasing the first Mass Effect, which was the first game to do this.
Ah.
Yeah. So, I don't like the voice thing. I'll be honest. Tell a lie. I do like it sometimes, but not when it's a created character.
Yeah, I think that if
true.
The voice thing helps if you're immersing yourself in the character that's already there, but if the character is basically supposed to be you to some degree, I think the dialogue options work better.
Yeah, I mean, look at Deus Ex Human Revolution. Probably the best example of the voiced RPG protagonist, because he's a character, he is established, he has a well-established backstory that doesn't change. You just guide him along a certain path in his reactions.
You were playing Adam Jensen, not yourself as a cyborg.
Yeah. Whereas, by comparison, John or Jane Shepard, you establish their backstory, you establish what they look like, you establish their military career up to that point, you establish all of their decisions as respect to going forward. It is basically putting you in the shoes of this character, rather than putting this character in your hands.
If there were more options, I would say Mass Effect is actually the middle ground there, because then you could tailor your responses to the backstory you've created.
Yeah, except it doesn't really give you much option to do that. See,
Yeah,
that's another problem with the dialogue wheel specifically, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah. See, something I would do with old RPGs when we didn't have fucking ridiculous budgets so we could hire voice actors for every single line of dialogue. When it gave me dialogue options, I would pick one and then read it aloud.
I did that.
Oh, that works.
And, so yeah, it felt like a voice-acted conversation still. It was just, I was doing voice. Because I was the character. That's how it worked.
That is really good practice if you want to get into voice acting, also, actually.
So, yeah. I prefer that for RPGs, to be honest.
It's just kind of up to the game for me. If I'm going to be playing a blank slate character, then it's probably just going to be me. But if I'm playing something else, then I prefer voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I say, voice is good when it's an established character, because then the voice actor has a basis to go off, so he can interpret all he likes because it's that character. It's not going to be any different, no matter what interpretation he gives. The player does not have their own interpretation, and that is more valid. That's not the way it works. Because the character was designed to be this way, and the voice actor is hired to portray this character as he was intended.
Or it's the other way around, where they create the character based on the actor, like Nolan North and what is it, Saints Row 4?
No, that was a different thing. It was Uncharted was Nolan North as this character, basically. And yeah, Saints Row 4 was Nolan North is reading these lines.
Oh.
That was literally the point. It was, I'm reading the script. It was the gag option replacing zombie from 3.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
I guess final opinions.
Right. Did we mention that sometimes the characters' voices are really annoying, and that's a huge downside?
I'm trying to think of an example besides plain John Shepard.
Yeah. Well, he's not bad. He's just not amazing.
Annoying. He's just bland.
Yeah.
It's more like, it's not like he's playing a heroic character. It's more like I am reading these lines in a heroic voice.
Yeah. And they usually go out of their way to, at the very least, assure that the voice is bland instead of bad. So, thinking of examples is pretty difficult. Aside from the obvious child characters.
Yeah. I mean, credit to Jennifer Hale, Jane Shepard, who pretty much saved that entire series by not bothering with the whole hedging bets thing that they were doing with the whole, hey, this is your character, except no, it's kind of not, because we have to establish stuff, and these voice actors, they're going to give their own interpretation. She just went full on, I am going to interpret this character. And it was much better for it. That's why everyone prefers female Shepard. Because she put so much more into it than male Shepard did.
I like
Whenever I inevitably play that game, the series, or rather, again, I'll probably have to go through as a female Shepard, because I didn't for very long. She was my evil one, and I kept accidentally canceling quests instead of doing the evil option. So, yeah.
Yeah. Final verdict? Preference?
It just comes down to the game. I can't say one way or the other.
I'll take the sound-free dialogue. I don't need the voices for my protagonist.
Yeah, same. I don't necessarily need the voices if it's meant to be like an immersion type thing. I'd rather imagine my own voice saying it, you know?
Yeah.
Or just use your own voice saying it.
Yeah.
I really do think more people should do that, because that's a fun way to do it.
It is.
It makes you an active participant a little bit, so it's kind of cool. Rather than I am thing that goes to kill stuff.
Hello,
Unless that's what
everyone.
you're going for, in which case, good on you, I guess.
Hello, everyone. I am thing that goes to kill stuff. Or stuff kill thing.
Like your every
Pretty sure you
dialogue
can actually
option is,
roleplay
why
that.
are we not killing things right now?
That should be an option in every game. Like at the very bottom.
I'm pretty sure Baldur's Gate did that.
Like, welcome to random town here. Yeah, where's the nearest place I can go kill stuff? Is it legal to kill things in this town? How many things can I kill in this town before the guards come after me? Can I kill the guards?
That was actually a verifiable parameter in Baldur's Gate. You could kill a certain number of people, and then eventually the guards would come after you. And then you kill more people, and worse guards come after you.
How many guards do you have to kill before they run out of people and money? How many?
I would kind of like that to happen in some town, in some game. I mean, you kill every guard, and then they don't respawn for like a week.
Yeah, so you basically single-handedly take over the town.
Pretty much.
Just because of your murderous spree.
Yeah.
That would be nice. If they let you do that. But they won't. Because for some reason that would break immersion more than fucking
More than an
murdering
infinite supply
300
of them.
people.
No, they should do that and have it be an ending. Just like a real short ending. Not an actual ending to the story that game's trying to tell, but just be an ending like you killed everyone and took over all the towns. Game over.
Congratulations, new High King of Skyrim.
Yeah, something like that.
Kingdom of One.
I would choose that ending over the two that you're given. I want my
One,
independent
maybe.
path.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me be the new High King of Skyrim. I'll rule it with happiness and joy. Everything will be peaceful.
Pragmatically speaking, you should be able to do that in that game.
Yeah.
I'm sure you probably can, but the game would not acknowledge it, so there's no real point.
Well, there is a mod that lets you be the High King of Skyrim, but it's more a joke thing than anything else.
Oh.
Honestly, you're the Dragonborn. You've gone and saved the world, and the other two options are complete horrible douches. So, yeah.
Again, you should be able to be High King of Skyrim because, the Emperors were all Dragonborn.
Mm-hmm.
Logic.
Was that the thing?
Yes, that was actually the thing. They were all supposedly descended from Akatosh and thus were Dragonborn just like you are.
Ah, okay. I thought Dragonborn and of Dragon Blood were two separate things.
Nope, same thing. Unless they retconned it. Okay, I guess we're done with that topic. Next topic is, okay. This one I came up with when I was reading a fic recently. And it all, well, it was a crossover fic. It had elements of two series that I like, and then some minor stuff in a few different series that I honestly didn't know that much about. And then at the end of the story, like literally the climax, those minor elements that I didn't know anything about suddenly became the focus, and the whole climax revolved around them.
That sounds bad.
Yeah. So that inspired this topic. It's called the crossover clusterfuck.
Ooh, fun.
Where you put together so many different elements of so many different universes that no one knows what the fuck's going on anymore. I'm going to clarify something for authors out there. Not everyone has read everything. So, adding in all sorts of elements from all different series just means fewer and fewer people are going to understand your story. Because there are going to be elements that they're not going to understand. And you're not giving them any way to get involved with that other than having to stop reading and go and watch the original source material.
Yeah.
For everything that you're including.
Yeah, and don't assume that just because a series is popular, everybody's read it. Like, don't include, like, say, for example, Dragon Ball stuff, you know, and think, it's fine. And even if some people do get that, you're at the very least narrowing your audience. At the very least, if not alienating them completely. By throwing in all this random stuff, because people go to read what the crossover's been labeled as, because they know those things, or at least they know one of them really well, and they're willing to learn about the other.
Yeah, that was basically the scenario. It was a crossover between two series that I liked, and then this other stuff started showing up out of nowhere, and I was like, okay, but it's not important, it's fine. And then the climax happened, and I'm completely lost, and it's ruined the entire story for me.
Was it from a third story or something separate?
It was a Buffy and Stargate crossover, and then it started adding elements from Fate Stay Night a little bit.
That's a popular one.
No, that was fine. The Fate Stay stuff was fine. It was entirely on the side. It was completely unimportant. Okay. No one cares. Then it brings in Harry Potter.
What? Okay.
No.
It was agenda flipped Harry and Luna, thus Harriet and something. I forget what male Luna's name was. And that was weird, especially because it wasn't really Harry Potter stuff. It was sort of kind of a clock tower thing from Fate Stay Night, but it was all... Everyone was a woman in the Mages Association, so it was the Coven or something. It was weird, and it made very little sense. But that's another side effect of bringing in a load of different series together. You have to try and make them all mesh. It's not going to work. It's not
going to work well.
The more you try and put in, the more it's going to fail.
Okay.
But I haven't gone to the end bit yet. And then it brings up Nanoha. What was the anime?
Magical Lyrical Nanoho? Something like that?
Probably. Something like that. And they were time, space, something, administration bureau or something. I honestly don't know what it was supposed to be. And they had barrier jackets and did powers of some... I didn't watch the anime, and this was the focus of the climax of the series. So, I was so completely lost.
That sucks. Like, a lot.
Yeah, just...
Like I say, it was a minor element when they were introduced, and it just sort of fell to the wayside, and then they come back for the climax, and then it's all about them. And what am I supposed to do with that? They're not even listed in the crossovers. So, yeah.
Yeah, if you're going to be doing multiple things like that with your story, and I really don't recommend it, you know, especially if you originally with your story as two things, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to change that to, you know, and change how that's labeled to, you know, something. I think there's some miscellaneous crossovers genre.
There is an anime crossovers setting.
Yeah.
That isn't just for small anime that do not have their own section. There's a reason that section exists.
Yeah. This is for a bunch of random stuff. You're going to get an assortment, and, you know, at the very least, you know what to expect. Yeah. That being said, you don't want to do that anyways, because, you know, you originally labeled your story as this, and introducing all this new stuff, you might think it's a good idea, it's really not.
I'll be honest, I think it is possible. My whole Harry Potter thing that I was and still currently am doing is basically one of these settings where everything sort of comes together, but it would almost never impact the story. There is a setting and a universe and all these different things are happening with loads of different crossover elements, but one, I would explain them. This is very important if you're going to bring stuff in that's not listed. If you're going to bring in a whole other series of stuff, then you need to let people know what any of this means if you're not going to actually tell them up front that this is going to be focal point of your story.
Yeah. Generally speaking, one story is going to be dominant, so just focus on explaining the less dominant crossover aspect.
Yeah. So, I was going to do that, and also, it would almost never come up. Because the less it comes up, the less people are going to be confused. Just as a general rule.
Which is really what you want. You don't want to confuse people. You're not succeeding as an author if you're doing that.
So, keep that stuff limited as much as you can, but if it does have to come up, then explain it. Explain the hell of it. Just make sure people are on the same page as you are when you're writing. Otherwise, it's all going to fall apart for them, and they're going to lose interest, and you lose a reader.
Yeah. So, if you're ever writing something like this, and you're wondering, why are so many people stopping reading my story? What's going on? This could probably be a reason why.
It could be, yeah. If this is the kind of story you write, then yeah.
I mean, there's a good chance that if you're good with it, you'll get people who will continue to read all the way to the end. But it's going to be a very small amount of people compared to what you could have.
To begin with, I mean, anything over just a basic two-story crossover is going to limit your audience pretty severely.
Mm-hmm.
Not only because the number of people that are fans of all three of those series is relatively minor compared to what individually, but also because the stories like that are kind of notorious for sucking ass. So people are used to just ignoring them.
I hate to hop on crossover pairing lover again, but that was one of my major gripes with that story that is fucking notorious on this podcast at this point. The one that Slicer and I reviewed. But yeah, because it did some stuff in the Naruto universe, and that was great. Well, it was okay. It wasn't great. But it was something, and it was coherent enough. That was fine. And then he kept jumping into fucking whatever Sasuke was doing, and he was traveling the universe, just fighting Saiyans and all this bullshit, and it would keep going back to him. We could have gotten the point on that when you just said he's traveling the universes and killing a load of people to test how strong he is. and then he comes back at some point in the future. That would have been a good reveal. That would have been fine. We wouldn't have cared. And we still didn't care.
Was that what was? I thought it was like his own unique OC story thing. Or is that something else?
I don't even fucking know at this point. Yeah. And then Luna was the devil or something.
Why?
Which was apparently something from one of his other stories or something.
Yeah, don't cross over with your own stories.
That's another thing we need to talk about. That's a future topic.
That's a future topic.
Alrighty then.
Yeah.
As long as we're talking about it, because I don't like that.
Okay, we'll get to that probably next week. I'm going to put it on the spare topics list. Crossing over your own stories.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, if you're doing a crossover with two series, I'm going to go out and say it's fine to introduce some smaller stuff from other series, as long as it's on the side and doesn't take the main focus or impact the story. Like, if you just want to have...
I'm okay if it's like a mechanic or something.
Yeah. Well, mechanics tend to need to be explained and exposited.
Yeah,
so,
I assume it's going to be explained, but yes, if it's something minor like that and you properly explain it, then I'm okay with it.
You know, if it's introducing, say, Harry Potter into a random story that has nothing to do with Harry Potter, and the character Harry Potter is there, and all of a sudden he becomes the main focus, you've done something horribly wrong.
Yeah, if you're writing, say, a Naruto fic, and then all of a sudden Harry Potter shows up and says, "Hey, I'm Harry Potter, and I'm going to save the ninja world," or something, that's terrible and stupid. Yeah. Especially if it comes in right at the end of the story. But the biggest problem with it is that you didn't set it up. You didn't set up why they were there. You didn't set up what they were doing, why they exist in this world. You didn't explain who this character is, who this character was, where they come from. All of this stuff needs to be explained if you're going to bring someone up completely out of the blue.
Especially a character from a different series. It's like that. Because crossovers are kind of a big deal because you need to explain why that character is in a separate universe entirely. For the most part. There are some series that cross over really easily.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, that whole dimensional jump bullshit that everyone and their dog does with crossovers, at least they fucking explain it a little bit.
Yeah. At least everybody puts in a little bit of effort for that. You know.
Effort is always appreciated. Instead of just being magic, they're there. They've arrived.
Don't worry about it. It's already happened. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's not important anymore, so stop thinking about it. Alright, I guess that's it for that topic. It was quite a heated topic. Mostly because yeah.
That's
like
the
said,
topic.
It just ruined the story this week, so, you know.
Yeah.
Still a bit sore. Alright. Alright, questions. We have questions this week. First question from Ethan. Favorite cereals?
Alright, I'm going to say right now, Reese's Puff and Cinnamon Toast Crunch. My two faves.
I can kind of get down. I can kind of get down on the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but it wears off on me really quick. Like I can get sick of it quickly.
I don't regularly eat cereal, so it's kind of like once in a while, once in a blue moon, I'll eat cereal.
Yeah, this is the question where all of the Americans talk about cereals I've never heard of or tasted, and I just sit there listening to them.
All right then.
I like Reese's, but it makes the milk like waxy or something. I don't even know how to describe it.
I know what you're talking about. I'm a Frosted Flakes man.
They're good.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
I like Frosties. They're nice. They're called Frosties in this country, but yes.
That's my number one. Let's see. I'll tell you what I hate, though. I hate waffle crisps. You ever had waffle crisps?
I don't think I have.
Oh,
I don't think...
they taste stale all the time.
I remember that cereal? I think it was Cookie Crisps.
Yeah, I love.
I love that stuff. Yeah, I haven't had it in forever, but it's
I haven't
definitely
had it
on my list
forever.
at the top.
Yeah.
Crunch Nut Cornflakes.
Mm.
It's a good one.
Oh,
It's like honey and nuts in cornflakes. It's great.
The-
And frosted shreddies.
the Flintstone cereal. The
Cocoa Pebbles or Fruity Pebbles?
Fruity Pebbles. I like those.
Cocoa Pebbles.
Hey, Cocoa Pebbles are good too. But I remember always liking that when I was a kid. Don't really eat it anymore.
Yeah, I don't either. I was thinking of one, but I forgot what it was. Oh, yeah. Surprisingly good, despite being really bland. Kix. I like Kix.
I've never heard of that.
It's not the one that's sort of like shredded grain
No,
or
it's
something.
it's just like the Puffs. The Puffs, but there's no sugar or anything in them.
Huh.
It's actually surprisingly good, despite not having any sugar in them or anything.
Mm.
Oh, Weetabix. Those are great.
Can you describe what those are? Because that sounds like
It's
a made-up
basically-
cereal. Like all of the things
It's
you
basically
described.
wheat. It's wheat shaped into little bricks that are about, say, I don't know, about an inch high,
Size the tip of your pinky?
3 inches long, and then 2 inches wide.
It's long, it's wide.
So you could probably fit 2 comfortably in a bowl.
So
And you put sugar on the top. It's nice.
So the
Well, it's not
large
nice.
version
It's
of the
basically just a
frosted
brick
mini
of
wheats
wheat,
without the
but-
frosting.
yeah, frosted,
Yeah, it's
a
just-
gigantic brick of mini wheats. Wheat.
Yeah. Yeah, but you put sugar on it and then milk in it, and then it breaks up really easily, and it's nice.
So it's like
That
the
sounds
gigantic
like a-
version of mini wheats.
That sounds terrible. Like it's just a bowl of mush.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's how most people eat it. I hate eating it like that.
I would just eat the squares.
In America, we have our wheat broken into squares for us and frosted beforehand, so we don't have to do it ourselves.
Those would be shreddies then, yes?
I guess they're frosted mini wheats here, but
Okay, yeah. Frosted shreddies in this country.
ah,
Or shredded wheat, if you get the bigger ones.
Oh, God. Entire description was amazing.
They're nice. Shut up.
sure.
Shut up with a gigantic wheat in a bowl.
Wheat in a bowl.
Actually, kind of get a shout out for a mainstay in both of our countries. Cheerios.
Yeah. All right.
Fuck yeah, Cheerios.
They're one of those cereals I always forget about, and then I'm reminded, like, yeah, they're great.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
Honey Nut Cheerios.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
Cheerios, yeah.
Oh, I need to go to the shop and buy some. Fucking Christ. I haven't had them in so long.
They're like the Coca-Cola of cereals.
Coca-Cola is shit, so I'm not going to agree with you.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either.
No, I mean in terms
That
of
sucks.
in terms of being the big, like, face of cereals now. Yeah, face of their brand.
Yeah.
We're going to have the soda conversation later, but fuck you guys.
Pepsi. Pepsi wins, hands down.
It does not win.
It
They're
does.
basically the same, in my opinion.
They're not. Pepsi's sweeter and less carbonated.
Coca-Cola is for men.
Okay.
What?
I'll
We're getting off
sit over
topic
here.
about this now.
I'll sit over here with my 7-Up then.
Oh, fuck 7-Up. I think everyone agrees that that's stupid. Jesus.
Yeah, go ahead and drink your 7-Up, Grandpa.
Mountain Dew.
Actually, his grandpa buys him porn movies, so I think that's okay.
It's true.
American Pie is not porn. It's an attempted offensive humor.
Unrated Love Lessons with Ginger Lynn. Former porn star Ginger Lynn reveals her secrets.
I think you just lost that leg you were standing on, Ken.
When it says...
Yeah, so I think Weetabix wins that topic, so,
Sure, okay.
Kill it with fire.
So, next question. Paraphrase, I don't even remember what the actual question was. It was basically interpretations of a series that you hear or read about from others, and it changes your entire perspective on it. I'll be honest, this is basically spoiler warning. That's pretty much everything that they do.
It is. As for...
I mean, basically all they do is play a game and then analyze the crap out of it and point out all of the ways how it's terrible and how the plot makes no sense. Yeah.
Like,
you remember all of my rants about Fallout and fucking Skyrim? Most of those are from spoiler warning.
Like,
stories were shit anyway, but, you know.
On that same level, in terms of, you know, having opinions, if you ever see the CinemaSins, the CinemaSins videos before you see the movies that they're actually about, you're going to go into those movies knowing every single thing that's wrong with them. And that can really ruin your experience.
Or it can make it better.
Yeah.
You never know. I've had some weird experiences with bad reviews.
Yeah. He actually gives some examples and gives a warning that they're too long. Disney films. Yeah, I read about this interpretation. Basically, the Little Mermaid decides she wants to give up her soul. Well, not actually her soul, but her voice, and those contract arrangements were kind of scary in the terms, but she basically signs away her soul so that she can chase a guy who she fell in love with because he was hot.
Yeah.
That's literally all she knows about him.
Pretty much, yeah.
So her plan is to sign away her voice so she can go up, meet him, get him to fall in love with her by not talking to him or communicating with him in any way and just being kind of hot. And then they're going to live happily ever after. This was her plan.
A strong moral to the young girls of the world.
Still better than Twilight. Yes, that is still a funny line. I don't care how old it is still relevant.
It's still true.
Yeah. Also, the other example he lists is Raiders of the Lost Ark. Basically, Big Bang Theory explained that if Indiana Jones was not there, then the Nazis would have found the Ark of the Covenant and taken it to a random island, opened it, and all died. So nothing would have changed.
It would have been a really short ending, yeah.
Yeah. Basically, the only thing Indy contributed to that film was the Ark of the Covenant getting studied by top men.
Who? Top
men. You're not supposed to say it yourself, Zero. That was a setup, and you played along, and then you ruined it. Fucking Christ.
You suck.
Damn it.
I'll just sit over here with my band camp.
You do that. Jesus.
You haven't earned the right to actually watch it yet.
Say dildo, then you can watch it.
That's a pretty good requirement.
I thought it'd be okay, but no, it's not a swear, Zero. You can say the word.
He knows what it's for, so he's not going to say it.
Like, it feels dirty and wrong.
It is. Say it. Say it.
Okay, let's stop before he has an aneurysm.
No,
okay.
I want to hear him say it.
dildo.
Yeah!
Aw.
You did it.
Well done, Zero. I'm sorry. Go, I don't know,
I feel like I've been sullied.
have an aspirin or something so you don't, hemorrhage.
I'm ruined for marriage.
Go pop in Bandcamp. It'll make you feel better.
I'm not opening
It
this.
really won't.
It's still sealed in plastic for a reason.
For your own safety.
Okay, so, next question. In anime, why are old people automatically badass?
Because they're still
real.
In
In
most
most
universes, it's just a danger
If
to
you're-
survive.
if you're saying it's an action anime, it's the old person always has the most experience and training and whatnot. And it's basically
Yeah.
it.
If it's an action series and it's a character that shows up a lot, then they probably have been in action before. I mean, they're not going to focus on a civilian character very often, are they?
Yeah.
I mean, I think the only... Slicer dropped out briefly. That's fine. I think the only character in Naruto that was an old man and not trained in the military was Teuchi, the ramen guy.
He wasn't even that old.
Yeah. He was just a sort of middle-aged dude, but still, it's about the best we got.
Like, yeah. Outside of action, you'll find there's lots of old people that aren't automatically awesome.
Mm.
It's just in that particular action/shonen category, you'll always find awesome old people.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Most of the characters in that series are teenagers or young adults, and they are dying by the dozens. If you can make it to old age in that life, that must mean you're kind of badass.
Pretty much, yeah. Surviving to your 20s. The greatest success of an anime protagonist. Especially considering how often they feel okay about cutting off 10 years of their lives.
Yeah.
I still hate that trope, by the way.
Alright, Luffy, first of all, here's a technique so that you can reduce your life every time you use it. Oh, and also we're going to do a surgery on you to reduce your life even further. I mean, you could die any day, man.
Yeah.
That's probably another
Yeah,
reason why there aren't
that's-
that many old people in anime.
Hmm.
They
What
all
is it?
killed themselves. They all ended their lives early by using techniques that killed them. Or shortened their
That's
lives.
a good point, actually.
15.
There certainly are a lot of those.
Yeah, you know what's weird?
What?
That they did that in High School DxD.
Wait,
You
what?
say?
Aren't demons immortal? Or
Effectively. I mean, they live for thousands of years, but effectively immortal by that stretch, yes.
Oh, yeah, they do the whole... They do cut his life force thing, yeah. And then they start healing him afterwards to get it back.
Hmm. So yeah, that was a weird thing.
Then again, his life force is technically he's supposed to live for 10,000 years, so... Not really a big deal.
Hmm. Yeah, it's just an example of false stakes, only it's the most transparent one that we've seen.
yeah.
Oh well. Okay, so that's that question done. I guess we're down to recommendations. Has anyone got one?
I actually haven't read anything this week, so I don't have anything.
I mean... I did play... I liked the Telltale Game of Thrones game. It was fun. A little bit too short, but if you're a fan of the show, I want to recommend that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ken, anything?
Nothing. I've read nothing this week, really.
Okay, well,
I can recommend the laser gun from RE4. I've been trying it, and it's fucking awesome.
I can recommend Star Wars The Old Republic again, because it's still a great game. I still really don't understand the people that were complaining, it's just kind of ripping off WoW, but so? still a good game. It's still a good game. In whatever. Besides, it's kind of outgrown that anyway. I could also recommend the fic that I'm baiting, which is a video Game of Thrones. Guess what that one is?
In crossover.
Is that an actual question? Or?
It was kind of a rhetorical question, but I was still expecting people to answer it.
A game of fic?
Yeah. It's a video game fic. It is not a game of fic. There's a difference. Cross with Game of Thrones. So, yeah, it's another one of those with,
I hope it's not Telltale.
Jon Snow is a game character, and the past 8 chapters have all been in Winterfell, and which basically means the plot hasn't gone anywhere yet, but it's still very entertaining. I actually stated my opinion to what I think this fic has become to the author. Like I said, I'm baiting it, so he asked what I thought. It's basically become Full House combined with Game of Thrones, except if Full House was funny.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's sort of unintentionally become a slice-of-life humor fic, a little bit. With some of the political intrigue of Game of Thrones. But it's pretty great in that respect. I'm very much enjoying it. Especially the most recent chapter is great. So yeah, that was a video Game of Thrones by... I've forgotten the name. Sorry.
The guy you work with and you didn't know his name?
He or she, I don't know the gender, but occasionally forgets that I'm baiting the fic.
Oh, one of those people.
So, no, it's fine. It had been a while since he/she written a chapter, so forgot, and then I reminded them. Temerine, I think. Temairine.
Tamarin?
Temirine, maybe. Anyway. So yeah, that's my recommendation. It's a pretty great fic. I'm not especially enthused about video game fics at this point because,
There's a lot of them.
Saturated the market and all that. But this is a pretty standout one because it does something different. It hasn't just fallen into the whole, hey, I'm going to get fucking superpowers and stuff thing that a lot of them tend to do.
Well, that's
Then again, it's only like 8 chapters long, so it still has room to get there, I suppose. I guess we're done then. Yes?
Seems like it.
My abs.
You don't have abs.
Oh, that's not the point. Fine, my core then. My core hurts. Ouch. I'm trying to get there.
Were you doing sit-ups while we were doing this? What?
Yeah. Yes?
All right.
Otherwise, I would have just been sitting here.
It's a reasonable use of time, I suppose.
Sit and exercise.
Fair enough. I play video games while we do this, so...
Yeah.
And I'm completely distracted by everything around me while we're doing this.
Especially American Pie Bandcamp box. You want to open it. You want to watch it.
If you want to exercise in your chair, Ken, you could just clench. That's an exercise.
I don't think that's very good exercise, though.
But it's an exercise. It'll be great for your glutes, I think. I think that's the term. You can tell I don't go to the gym. Or know anything about fitness whatsoever. So, thanks for listening to Fandom Flux Podcast episode 68. If you'd like to get in contact with us, you can do so through the Blogspot page, the comments, or the YouTube channel through the comments. Probably the last one, because I can't even remember what the first 2 are anymore, apparently. And please feel free to donate on Patreon if you feel so inclined. Reminds me, I need to shout out all the people that donated on Patreon, so I'm going to do that right the fuck now. Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. Vamp while I'm sort of signing in.
Oh.
Forgot to do that.
You're really not going to watch that movie?
I'm really not going to watch.
What if I send you another copy so you can gift the first copy to someone and have a second one for yourself?
How exactly are you going to pitch that gift?
They don't know what they're getting until they get it, just like Zero didn't.
I mean, like, does Zero seem the type that would give away Bandcamp? That would raise some questions.
I'm still curious what the steaming encounter with the musical instrument is. Like, which
one
instrument?
of the girls
It's going to be an oboe.
does something. I can't remember.
Like, what if it's a drum?
Google the scene on
I think
YouTube.
Nina and the Table from Code Geass.
What? Oh, that was a musical instrument.
Only that, but with, like, a tuba or something.
Or triangle.
Or an oboe? I don't know what they are.
Oboe. Oboe. What the fuck? Okay. Our donors for last month were RXM. Thanks, buddy. You're an amazing writer. QFJ08. Yay. Thanks, dude. And, these are real names, and I probably shouldn't use real names. I think it's Resden and Tempest Tropa. I know one of them's Tempest Tropa. I think the other one's Resden. Worth noting to everyone that donated, if you do not cancel the donations now, then you will be donating again for this month.
Yeah,
So
there's no one-time payment for Patreon. It kind of sucks, but that's not really what the service is for.
We don't have it.
Oh,
we do a monthly thing. Specifically in case anyone wants to do this, which Tempest Troper apparently does, so we thank him very much for that.
Thanks.
I assume Hugh and RXM don't want to do that and donate $20 every month, so you're going to want to cancel those, probably. But thank you, and we're going to get in touch and ask about how we can get you on the podcast because you're awesome.
Mm-hmm. That the guest segment thing.
Yes.
That you paid for. So.
What if the instrument was a harp?
Ow.
That has a little horn-ish bit on the end of it.
Or like a viola?
How about a trumpet?
That's
Well, if you're going to go
obvious
viola, you may
choice.
as well go double bass.
Is this conversation going to turn into what's the sexiest instrument? Because
I guess.
I mean,
Triangle.
Piano, maybe? I don't know.
Not piano.
I don't know. I'd argue
Like saying
piano
Waylord
because it's
is the
useful for
sexiest
other
Pokemon.
things.
What the fuck?
What's wrong with Waylord?
It's too big. It would crush anything else. Thanks again for listening to the Fandom Flux podcast once again. Bye now.
See you guys. Thanks for donating.
Make sure to say in the comments what you think the instrument is.